I am Ro D. Rose.
This is brand new to me.
I was a local radio icon.
I didn't abide by the rules.
Thanks to haters, it came to an end.
I had to figure out my voice and my brand.
What's changed in 2 decades? I've grown up, married my college love, and interviewed real bosses from all over.
I eliminate the cell phone employee.
Grind for the net. Put in the work. Become a master. This is Network Master.
Chris Johnson is a graduate of Stetson University, 5th generation Floridian. And this guy makes it happen in business. He's got his own podcast, Into Hinterland. I want to welcome Chris Johnson to Network Master.
Hey, Ro. Thanks for having me.
And Stetson University, what was your major there?
I did a major in business administration and a minor in information technology. I didn't start off with that. I actually started off in political science and was going to take the whole route to law school and decided that was not for me. Spent a day chaperoning a local attorney and figured it was not a path I wanted to go down.
So what was it that made you not want to go down that path? Was it the detail? Was it the paperwork? Or was it just that entrepreneurial itch already kicking in?
It was a combination of a couple of things. It was the entrepreneurial itch. When I was 18 years old, I started my first online company. It was also just the magnitude of reading. I'm not much of a reader, I'll admit. Also, I was still young. And of course, my father in 1998 sold his business for about $18 million.
Wow.
And of course, I saw that as a strong path to go down for with my entrepreneurial spirit and my creativity. So that's why I took that path.
That had to be some example that your father set. Selling a business, what kind of habits maybe did you glean from him that you put into your business now?
I got to tell you, man, even though my dad was not military, he was militant in the way he approached discipline to life. And so, for example, middle school, high school, every Saturday morning, I would have printed a list of chores that I physically had to sign off on.
Wow.
And return to his desk before I could leave the house. And that happened every Saturday. And, so discipline was a huge factor. Spiritual growth was a huge factor. And then the third thing was a healthy lifestyle, exercise and fitness. I mean, I remember my dad would go on these 2 to 3 mile runs, and I remember doing that with him when I was like first and second grade. When you combine those 3 habits,
you're going to have some discipline.
Yeah, you're going to have some discipline. You're going to have some success.
We're talking to Chris Johnson here on Network Master. Visit the website, networkmaster.live. Download the audio there or Google Play or iTunes. Now, Chris, tell us a little bit about how you take care of family here in Florida.
I've been married for 10 years. My wife, Stormy is her name, and we have 4 amazing children, Chloe, Sebastian, Bella, and Victoria, ranging from 16 all the way down to 4 years old, and needless to say, we are busy. And she's running the house, and she's my anchor at home, man. I think that strong communication with your spouse through a family calendar is huge. We actually have 3 or 4 family calendars feed into our family calendar. So we have son's football calendar, daughter's volleyball calendar, all the other activities that our kids are involved in that feed into our family calendar, which is also my travel calendar, et cetera. And that communication gets disseminated to our kids, and they're responsible for looking at that calendar. As we say, we empower our kids to be as involved as they possibly can.
That's a good idea.
On those aspects of our family, because we're training them to be powerful individuals when they get older, so they're going to have to take extreme ownership of their schedules and their lives and communicate that to the rest of the family.
What other things do you empower them to do that not only helps with the family, but maybe helps with the family business too?
One of the things that we started instituting a couple of years ago based off a book called Loving Your Kids on Purpose is that we do not institute a bedtime. We institute a room time, latter part of elementary school, that we start to phase in, hey, listen, it's room time, not bedtime, because they're the ones that are going to have to reap the consequences of staying up to whenever they stay up, not us. They're going to wake up tired tomorrow. They're going to maybe wake up late and have to rush to get to school. So we're trying to empower them to be responsible adults before they become adults. And the way we do that is say, look, you don't have a bedtime. You can do whatever you want to do. It's up to you. but you're the one who's going to have the consequences, not us.
And you're still expected to meet all the requirements that are put on you, no matter how late you stay up, right?
Exactly. So we don't let down on that, because I think one of the things that often happens in society is oftentimes kids are too baby, and out of our love for them, we want to protect them, and we want to go over and beyond that labor of love, as people say, to fill in the gap where they may slip up. We don't believe that. We believe, hey, look, starting in third grade, you're going to start making your lunches. Starting in sixth grade, you do your own laundry. If your laundry doesn't get done, it's not our problem. You go to school with dirty laundry.
Or as my mom used to call them, funky clothes.
Funky clothes. If you want to wear a pound of funk, that's fine. Strong decision makers today will be strong decision makers tomorrow when it really matters.
We're talking to Chris Johnson here on Network Master. Visit the website, networkmaster.live. Share this audio with your family, friends, and network. Now, Chris, I heard you mention responsibility, empowerment, calendar sharing, communication. Are you more of a results-oriented person, or are you more of the detail person in the relationship?
I am extremely oriented because of my current profession being in the medical device manufacturing industry. The attention to detail is extremely important to producing high-quality devices that will be used in surgery and in various different applications. And so my attention to detail is of course there and has improved since I've been in this career. But I'm also results-driven because my sales personality is always results-driven. And so I think a little bit of both.
So when it comes to making major decisions, are you the type of person who relies on gut instinct, or do you like to take a committee into account?
Ooh, good question. What I've learned through the years is that I strongly rely on my wife's gut instinct. She has some powerful intuition at times and has the ability to see things I don't see from that emotional perspective. And so oftentimes I am not the one really with a gut feel approach to things. I will take and approach certain large decisions as committee, involve those, first starting with my wife, and then, of course, if it's a big enough decision, starting with going from there to my children. So I think I'm more of a committee, even though committees, do get bogged down, and we don't necessarily have a democracy. What my wife and I say goes, but we do involve the children. Same approach with business.
Gotcha.
I mean, if I am in partnership, I'm not the one who rules with an iron fist. I'm really the one that yields to the input of the majority and tries to make the best decisions from there.
So we've been talking to Chris Johnson here on NetworkMaster.live. Chris, what types of things do you talk about on your podcast, Into Hinterland?
The actual word hinterland is a word for wilderness or an unexplored area. And the reason why I named it Into Hinterland is because my focus is to go into conversations like we're doing right now and discuss life lessons people have learned in their own journey. And so often I find that overcoming, drug addiction or overcoming whatever they face, there's some real nuggets and pearls that they can give as wisdom to the listeners. And so it's a hosted podcast, a long-form conversation where we get into various topics such as politics or spiritual beliefs or whatever comes up. The point isn't really an agenda as much as it is to explore some of those unknown areas about life.
Chris Johnson, founder of Into Hinterland podcast. What's the website?
It's the letter N, the number 2, and then Hinterland, HINTERLAND.com.
Awesome. Chris Johnson, thanks for taking your time out here on Network Master.
Ro, thanks so much for your time. I wish you, as much success as possible with your endeavors.